You done? You ready?
Yeah, I'll just close the door.
Oh right, okay. Hello there, everybody, and welcome to another fluffy video of Guild Wars 2 amazingness. And today we're going to have a quick discussion about questing or not questing, or hearts and dynamic events and things. So we've just been having a bit of a chat, and Rob's been kind of telling me that he's seen a lot of people, Guild Wars 2 community people, or people who are just interested in Guild Wars 2, who they can't get out of the mindset of the old MMO model of we're going and doing quests. They're saying things. They're saying I don't mind going out and doing the heart questing. Well, the thing is that we don't really think of it as questing. It's something a whole lot different. Would you not agree, Rob?
Well, it is very different. I mean, the problem people are having is removing themselves from the questing mentality, which isn't helped, I don't think, by the hearts in a way, because the hearts, when you go into the game and you load into a zone and you're faced with all these hearts, you instantly think, oh, that's where I need to go and do these little quest things. And so obviously your mind links it all together, and it does. And that's the way, anyone would think who, coming from an MMO, you'd be first, it's that guy with the question mark on his head, the first guy, well, the exclamation mark on his head, the first guy, isn't it? You want to be able to go and get your hand held to show you where to go, because that is really necessary. Imagine if you didn't have the hearts in the game, for example, and you went in, started the game off, there was no scout to tell you where the hearts were, and there were no hearts in the map. It was just vistas, points of interest, and maybe some waypoints. And then this massive expanse of basically just green or whatever it was around you. You'd be completely confused. You wouldn't know where to go. So the heart quests aren't really quests. They're just another type of thing to help you get
Exploration.
into the exploration. Yeah, it's like the vistas. The idea of them is to make you explore more, so then you can find the events.
Yeah. So not everyone might even be that clued up on what exactly the difference is between, a heart and the dynamic events themselves, because, the hearts are obviously, they're static things that are placed throughout the map, and you can learn about where they are from scouts and things like that, or you can just discover them naturally. And they're going to be always there, giving you a reason to be in the area, killing whatever or gathering whatever, or stuff like that. But that's not really the meat of the questing, is what we kind of agree, isn't it? The meat of, to say questing is
See?
it's just that you can't avoid that word, because it kind of does fill that same function in a way, but it's not. It's more free flowing than the old model of questing. But then the dynamic events, that's more the meat of the actual adventuring content.
Yeah, and that's what it is. It's adventuring content. It is adventuring content. Like the renowned hearts are just basically like tasks, and they just indicate within an explorable zone where you should go.
Yeah, they pull you into a place where some dynamic events are going to take place at some point, and then hopefully while you're there, that happens, and then most of the dynamic events lead you on to another dynamic event, and it works in a really. It's a lot more. I guess what we're trying to say, it's a lot more kind of free-form than just, hey, go up to a hub, go up to each and every guy with a question mark above his head, click on him, get all your shopping list, and go out through the whole zone and do everything, and then go back and hand it in and profit.
Yeah, I think the problem people have as well is with the renown hearts, you walk into the area where the renown heart is, and you suddenly get everything pop up on the top right of your screen saying you can now help this person do this, and it feels very dynamic compared to what, say, World of Warcraft was, where you had to go and grab your shopping list. This is very much. It just feels like, oh, this is what a dynamic event is, because it's so different to what it was in other games. And I think that's another thing that people get them confused. But the thing about the hearts is they're completely static, as in they're not going to change. They're going to. It's a map completion thing, so you will complete the areas. And that will be part of the map completion, and they will just stay there forever. They're also karma merchants, so when you complete the quest, you can buy things from them. So they're not completely just it's always worth doing them because you might be able to get an upgraded weapon, or a lot of the time there's some crafting items there available from them, which is quite nice. So, like, for example, you can get cooking ingredients and things in big bulk bags, which is kind of cool. So unlocking them is not like a bad thing at all, and it's definitely a very good mechanic, but it's not the meat of the game. It's not the questing. The questing, in that sense of the big word that we're trying to avoid, is actually the dynamic events. I mean, if you were going to take the questing system of another MMO and compare it to something in Guild Wars 2, which is like it in terms of content progression, it would be the dynamic events and not the Renown Hearts.
Yeah, because the dynamic events are those things that they're more kind of focused in terms of objectives, aren't they? They're escort events, or protect someone, or go and stop a group of invaders, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's always very, like you said, free flowing. And what happens is it will take, whether you win or lose the event, a consequence will happen, and then it will, slide along that way down the event chain, or back up the other way, depending on which way if you're winning or losing.
Yeah.
So that's a dynamic event, and when you compete in one of these or take part in one of these events, your XP is massive compared to the XP you get from Renown Hearts.
It is.
Which is another thing where people were saying they were so underleveled for when they'd finished an area. Like, I've done all my hearts, I've done all the stuff in the area, and now I'm really underleveled, and I can't go on to the next area. It's because you haven't done all the stuff in the area, because
you haven't done the dynamic events.
The actual meat of the area is the dynamic events, which is supposed to trigger and happen when you're around doing other things like checking out vistas and points of interest and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So what people should be doing when they're going out and doing these renowned hearts is, that they need to be looking out for these dynamic events. They pop up on the map. You get a little alert on your list in the top right, and it's pretty hard to miss. Actually, you just go in and take part, and I'm led to believe that your XP gain will actually scale with your contribution level to the dynamic event as well. So if you go in there and you really put in a lot of effort into the objectives that other people are working towards, you're going to get a huge amount of XP compared to what you'd get from just going around the zone and doing all your little hearts. Because to be honest, there are so many like chaining kind of dynamic events that the total amount of XP you're going to get from doing all of them in a zone is going to be massively ahead of what you'd get from pretty much anything else.
Exactly, and it is. That's the way it works. And what's even better about it is if you put in a load of effort and the dynamic event fails, you still get XP, like a good chunk of XP, especially, and you still get a rating on how much effort you put into the event. So that's really nice. So even if you fail the actual event, it's not really a failure. It's because it doesn't work in that way. It's more like a real life event. So if you were trying to fight off barbarians, for example, attacking your village, it wouldn't be a failure. You'd just be falling back to then regroup to try and solve the next problem or to push them back the other way. Mm-hmm. It's a better system in that sense. It's not about winning or losing. It's about actually just taking part, and that is what the meat of Guild Wars 2 is, in the sense of content progression, and not the Renown Hearts, which are literally just an explorational enhancement.
Yeah, they're drawing you into the zone, just like the vistas and the points of interest and things like that. They're just an exploration tool. They're not questing. So yeah, we just wanted to touch on this interesting topic because we weren't sure if people got it or not. So next time you're playing Guild Wars 2, whether there's a stress test or actually just on release, have a think about that. Have a think about what you can do with the dynamic events, and are you taking full advantage of them? What do you think? Do you think they should? I mean, I know you complete the map by doing the hearts, the points of interest, the vistas, and what was the other one? There's another one, isn't there?
Waypoints.
Waypoints. That's it. You unlock the map like that.
Skill points.
Skill points, those things that are on the map basically. But do you think that they should add, maybe not like adding towards the unlocking of the completion of the map, but maybe have a little thing on the side that says exactly how many dynamic events you've done or something?
I don't know. I don't think that should be the way, because a lot of the time the whole zones are meant to be open, so you're meant to be able to go back into a zone, and it's not like going back to Westfall at level 80
Yeah.
and not being able to do anything useful. You mean you're meant to be able to go back into the zone and it actually be a viable area for you to be. So having the dynamic events being actually dynamic and you discovering them is all about part of it. You could be in about 8 months after launch passing through a zone you haven't been there for a while, and suddenly an event popped up that you've never seen. And it's about keeping it fresh and keeping it
Yeah.
approachable.
So
But
once
also-
again, it's not about it's about changing the mindset of how you think of it, and not thinking of I need to 100% kind of do this, in terms of completing a zone, but just let it be known that there are dynamic events and you need to kind of get involved with them.
Yeah, and also for the WoW player inside me, what you need to think about is just chilling out, because there's so much drive to complete the Renown quests. As
Yes.
you said in commas, that you just want to do it as an MMO player and have that completion of the events. Well, you're thinking of the events that are happening. So yeah, when you're out in the world, just chill. Just take time to gather some stuff as you go and have a look, be
Yeah.
nosy. When you see something in the distance, run over to it and have a look what it is. And
I've got to say, I completely agree, because at times we've both played this quite a bit now, and we've tried different ways of playing the game. And those times, whenever we felt like we were trying to go round and complete everything, it just didn't work. It just didn't feel like we were doing it right, because we were just getting underleveled, and we were approaching it the wrong way. I mean, for one thing, you don't want to hit max level. I don't see the massive hurry to hit max level, because once you hit max level, there is no, other end game grind to get involved in. You are literally just going to be.
well, you've got ore,
Well, you've got
which is
ore,
going to be completely open to end level, which is like a whole new island for you to explore with dynamic events. So,
but it's not really something that people should necessarily be rushing to, because it's still going to be a lot of the same of what There's no real urgency to it, I don't think, to just
basically,
get
you
to
don't have to
endgame.
grind gear to then start raiding. No, you don't have to do that.
Exactly. You're not going to be behind on some kind of progression ladder if you don't hit max level within a week. And to be honest, if you go and try and level that quickly, I think you're just robbing yourself of a really amazing gaming experience in Guild Wars 2. It's just the joy of it is you just go in and be in the world, and that's kind of it. For me, at least. I don't know about everyone else. What are your thoughts, everyone else? Let us know. Do you agree with that mindset? And also, give us your thoughts on this whole topic of questing in the old model versus the Renown Hearts and the dynamic events of Guild Wars 2. Get involved with us, send us a comment, and we will answer any interesting comments we can. So yeah, we're just going to close off this video now. Thanks once again for watching. Do remember to subscribe and share the videos. We do appreciate it. And we will look forward to seeing you in the very near future. Bye.
Bye.